All right, what's going on, everybody, man? Happy Sunday. This one, I'll probably be all over the place, and I might even get emotional with this one because every time when stories like this come out, it does something to the heartstrings, man. It really does. It's something about it's crazy because it's like the one thing about when I became a dad, I became stronger in a lot of ways, but at the same time, when it comes to certain news and stuff like that, it hits harder. It really like pulls at a certain area, and it gets me in that little state of emotion to where it's like I can't believe that somebody would do this to their own child. Now, let's go ahead and get into it. So, if you don't know, news came out this week that Susan Smith, who back in 1994, I believe, she, oh man, it's gonna be tough to even say, she deleted her 3 year old and her 1 year old sons. She did it by drowning them. She drove a car to a lake. I actually contemplated on actually doing it to herself too, but decided ultimately not to and let the two kids go into the lake in the car and they drowned. They did a reenactment of it. There was, I don't know how accurate this is, but supposedly I believe the 3 year old actually had his hand pressed on the window and everything. But again, I don't know how accurate that is. That's just it's tough all around. She was sentenced to two concurrent life sentences. She this week had her 30-year mark her parole, which she is eligible for another parole in 2 years, and she was denied her early release. She talked about how she's very remorseful for what she did, how God has forgiven her, and that right there is where I have such an issue with it. So, listen, I'm a Christian, but there's something about whenever somebody does something on this level of when they do something so evil on this level and they talk about how God has forgiven them and how they should be given a second chance. I have a huge issue with it because of your children didn't have that chance. They didn't have a chance. You're asking for a second chance. You know what I'm saying? The dad, the father, he gave his point of view on it. He was tearing up and everything as he was talking. He said that no matter what, every time when she gets a parole chance, he's going to be there to fight against it and that she should be in jail. And rightfully so. I agree with him. I would never want to picture myself in that case, but I can't imagine myself not doing the same thing if I was in his situation. She didn't just take her children away, she took his children away, his sons, and he never got that chance to love and teach them the ways of being a young man. And at this point, they will be 33 and 31. So he never got that chance with them. And I don't blame him for doing his hardest to fight um, to fight against her being released. And another reason why, on top of that, what's even crazier too, is that while she was in jail, she had two sexual relations with two guards. One guard she had an oral relationship with, and he actually, when I looked at because I saw it on ABC News, and he talked about how he was regretful of it. He lost his job and everything, and then the other guard, who she had an actual intimate relationship with, he's actually in jail serving time because of that. I There's no way that I can't get behind the fact that she should be able to walk free. at any point in time. When you do something on this level, even if God has forgiven you, she should still be locked away. There should be no freedom. There's nothing there. Because of the fact that you would do this to your own children, I don't believe that you wouldn't do that to anybody else. There's something inside of somebody like that to where I don't believe that that completely goes away. If you can do something to your own home, to the ones that you gave birth to, I absolutely believe that to the moon and back, that you could do anything nasty, evil that you set your mind to. I don't think there's any limits. I don't think that that just goes away. I think that you could do something to somebody else, somebody else's kids, anything, and I think that you need to stay right where you're at. That is the best place for her. She doesn't need to be nowhere else. She's still breathing. Unfortunately, her children are not. So you're one-upping them on that case alone. On that alone, you're one-upping them. So good enough for you. You get that. That's the best you get. Because they don't get that. They don't have to go through any more pain or anything, but you don't get to go. And even if you have that, you're going to have that felony on your background. You're going to have this stain is going to be on you for the rest of your life. But you shouldn't be able to have that freedom to go out and do whatever you want. Because they don't. I just don't. And you know what's crazy though? I don't know. I'll probably end the video right here because I don't want to go into a whole other thing. But it's just wild to me how somebody could do that. And then on top of that too, she made up this whole story about it. She didn't come clean when she first did it. They had to actually pull this out because she accused, she said that some black guy came and took her children or something like that, some crap. And the fact that you didn't come clean. Number one, if you're going to do something to... I'm not advocating for somebody to do this. Let me be clear on that. But a lot of these people that have these ideologies and think that, hey, I feel this way, so I'm going to impose this on other people and I'm going to harm other people and stuff like that. If you're going to do something, number one, you should get help. Let me say that. But if you're so dead set on it, you have yourself. You have yourself. Figure things out on your own. I'll leave it with that. To yourself. You don't have to do this to other people. And she said her whole reason for doing this because she didn't want her children to grow up without a mom and all this and blah, blah, blah. But they still would have had their father. But now, they don't even have their lives. They don't have their mother or their father. They don't have their family. They didn't get a chance to grow up. They didn't experience the holidays. They didn't experience the joys of life. And yes, there's the pains of it too, but they didn't get a chance to really experience that. Before they could even, at this point, the 3-year-old would have probably been able to write and could barely talk and stuff like that. 1-year-old couldn't even talk. You took their futures away from them. So you should not get a future at all. That's my take on it. So anyways, man, I'm Nate. I'm gonna go ahead and get off before, I don't know, watch something happy or something before I mess around and get super emotional and mess around and start crying on my YouTube channel and stuff like that. So anyways, man, I'm Nate. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one.